Good morning. Let's take a look at yesterday. Any green screens? Champions League was a little more accommodating yesterday. Championship as well. Had a little go at Middlesbrough, given the fact they've been scoring an absolute shed load very, very recently because they've gone through such a poor run, failing to score, then suddenly lighting up because they've got the top two in their sights. Well, there were a few speculative ones along the way. This is a special one after all. So a Juventus lead and a lay at 1.04 is not going to harm your betting bank. And indeed, Benfica missed a penalty. The special one will not be happy. I would ignore Betfair here. Gets it completely wrong. So very close to a 2-1 becoming a 2-2. Yet another idiot paid hundreds of thousands. Unable to put the ball in the back of the net from 12 yards. Absolute clown. Special one will be livid because they might not reach the top 24 now, Benfica. In a similar vein, yesterday PSV have taken a few scalps, including Liverpool's. So again, a lay at 1.05 just to find out whether they're in the mood. It's not going to harm your betting bank at all. If PSV turned up, as they did against Liverpool and a few of the others where they got massive wins, then we're up and at them. But that is not going to harm you at all. Look at the risk reward. Galatasaray and Atletico Madrid decided to drip lay at 1.25, given Atleti have that ability to get that late goal. But Galatasaray have had a few 1-0 defeats, meaning they could be a tough nut to crack. So drip laying at 1.25, 1.19, 1.4, 109, 106. Risk reward again, huge. And I'm quite happy. I could reduce that to £5. And I'm quite happy to take that hit there. I can't see my Middlesbrough play, which is a pity. Some of these I stupidly didn't record. The Middlesbrough play I'll talk you through because it was a really good profit. And you'll see, relative to these small liability risks, that profit just there bounced us into a solid green for the evening session. Well, Saints getting a win. But this is the one which I was delighted with. It was even before the red card came. This is the value of having a momentum graph. If you can find yourself a momentum graph, you will have seen at the end of the first half with a 1-0 deficit, Middlesbrough, the momentum was rising at the end of the first half. What I was banking on was that momentum continuing, and more so, I was looking at this recent bit of form for Borough. And now, when we look at the standings, you'll see the huge motivation they have. Let's take this out of the equation, the FA Cup. 4 goals against the Saints, 3 goals against West Brom, where previously, where on earth had the goals been coming? None there, none there, none there, none there. So a real problem there. Now they look like a side worth following. Why? All you have to do is look at the standings here. That is huge motivation, isn't it? What we did, lay over 1.5 goals, back Middlesbrough at quite a high 2.62. I'm sorry I didn't record it because it was a great green screen. I was just seeing if it was there was any sign of it, but no, what a pity. That would have been an excellent play, or an excellent one to show you at least. It was an excellent play. So laying over 1.5 goals. The problem with backing Middlesbrough at +1 rather than the match odds, I could have gone match odds and made an even bigger profit, but it was a risk. Why is it a risk? Well, the market's telling you 2.32 the favourite. Not the strongest favourite on the planet. I do take account of the odds. Laying it over 1.5 goals here, 2.62 for +1. To put it into perspective, a confident market would have +1 at 1.8. So 2.62 is taking a risk. But when they do it, it pays off. And the red card was inconsequential. This was all down to Middlesbrough. Now they've got the 2+ goal scoring habit. The market is still not pricing that in, are they? They might be a little worried with that recent run of failing to score in 4 matches. But this was the highlight of the evening, and it was the one which really pushed us into profits. There were some other excellent calls yesterday as well. Let me talk you through them. Champions League was more amenable yesterday. Karabag and Frankfurt. If you look at Frankfurt's recent form, 3-3s, 3-2, 3-2. I hope you laid the Desmond. I did mention it in dispatches on Telegram. I hope you members laid it. Who are you going to put on your Christmas card list in 2026? It's Mustafa Zada. There's only one Mustafa Zada. And old Duran making it 2-2. Fabulous stuff, as long as it keeps them from singing. So an excellent match. We were expecting this. It's must-win territory, but it's more must-win territory for Frankfurt because they're in a whole heap of bother now. Karabag are in 18th. Delighted. They've zoomed up. Frankfurt needed that win. A win for Frankfurt would have taken them 7 points. And then another win would have taken them into the top 24, possibly. So this, I'm afraid, is Auf Wiedersehen pet for Eintracht Frankfurt, you'd think. A great call. I hope you followed it. Do let me know, members, if you did get that Desmond 2-2 in the bag in the comments section below. Anything else before we move on to today's Europa League? Again, a lay of Juve. I did lay Liverpool, or contemplated it at least at very short odds, because Marseille did a number over Newcastle. But no. 2-2, Slavia Prague and Barcelona, and this is a rarity. Robert Lewandowski scoring for Slavia Prague. Unbelievable, Jeff. So you could have taken that 2-2 on in some capacity. The draw odds were far too high. But it's all relative, isn't it? Because the draw odds are high because the market's not expecting a draw. So you could quite easily operate a later back trade there, as long as you're willing to take the liability on. AZ Alkmaar did score first as one of our bankers, but this is typical of their recent performances. Woeful stuff. Did lay the draw at 1.09 and 1.06 there, just in case AZ turned up. It was what I call a redemption match, and they got off to a good footing, scoring the first goal. I think it's worth following the top 3 in the Saudi Professional Development League, or Saudi Professional League, because the top 2 got us a trade. Al Nasir scored first, though, which was a pity, and they scored their second goal as well. But they look to be the ones to follow. They're the ones who've got the big bucks. They're the ones who've got all these stars filling their pockets with Saudi money. Al Hilal, Al Nasser, Al Ali. You look at the team sheets for these 3. It's quite something. You look at the managers as well. Simone Inzaghi, for goodness sake. One of these teams has Al Qazada, I think, as Brendan Rodgers. He's gone off for a couple of quid. So good luck to them. So let's look at today's trading angles. First port of call will be the football trading predictor. Lincoln against Burton. It's not a match I'm keen to research because it's a lower tier. But this is the beauty of having this AI eye. It can give us a good angle in. And I did these championship matches for members yesterday. So trading predictor on another line. I am working hard in getting Football Trading Profits into an app itself. If we can do this, it's going to be a superb addition because you'll have AI at your fingertips along with me. Football Trading Profits, here we go. But it's a very, very exhausting process. I have to do stuff I've never done before, which is Google email handshakes and all the rest of it. So I'm working on the app each day. I've got to go through 5 phases now. It's getting better and better, and it's becoming, hopefully, if I can transfer this to Firebase and get it online, it should be something for you to look forward to in 2026. But I'm not a developer by any stretch of the imagination. I don't know what I'm doing. Thankfully, AI does. So we'll have all of the strategies here for you, and we'll have I'm trying to work on getting the blog done at the moment, but I'm having trouble loading my test blog. So ordinarily, you'll get the blog here at footballtradingprofits.com. You will get it here at the Academy. And the great thing is, we're trying to get a simulator working, but that's going to be difficult as well because I need to be teaching the Football Trading Profits app AI how the Betfair markets work in different scenarios. Red cards are the same as goals, that kind of a thing. So we'll have the webinars here as well, the live section, the tools, which will be all of the AI, like the Football Trading Predictor, which is coming in a second. The blog will be where you'll get your daily research mentorship. Well, it's an idea. You could pay me and I will turn up and do a session for you. Bespoke session for you. Insights. This is great. This is AI. We'll scan the news feeds and bring us some information on injuries, etc., etc., etc. So it's very exciting, but it's very, very technically difficult. I've only got a short amount of time per day to do it in, and this is new to me completely. So it's very exciting to try to fix all of this. I've got to sync in the PayPal, sync in or be available to make sure that members can get on board, and when they can get on board, they can view all the areas they've paid to view, that kind of thing as well. We need to make sure that all of these links are working, that kind of thing. So if you've got any ideas for the Football Trading Profits app, if I can get it up and running, that is, caveat, and please do leave a message in the comment section. But let's get back to the first match of the day, Lincoln against Burton. Now, I don't know anything about these two, but let's see what AI says. Well, Lincoln are second already, Burton are 19th. So what we've got on our hands here is a relegation 6-pointer, and the market is clear, a 1.53 favourite. Okay, so you've got a clear indicator now of which one of these two sides you may want to focus on. But this is this part of the season where this lot will be performing a low block with a 10-man defence, trying to nick a 1-0. Trying to do a Sporting Lisbon against Paris Saint-Germain, if you can think of it that way. Great that the AI has picked up on the odds as well. 63% promotion form and home advantage. Burton's high odds factor in the league position. A significant loss of loanee JJ McKinnon. So there's some great information. I don't know this league. I don't follow it. The market's gone for a Lincoln City win. Fair enough. Over 2.5 goals. Lincoln averaged 2.4 goals per game in the last 5 outings. And Lincoln City -1 on the Asian. So they're expecting Lincoln to get a 2-goal win. So that's something for you to think about if trading this match this evening, particularly if Burton score first. So what I'm going to do, if we have it, I'm going to generate a PDF and upload that for members to have a read about. You can see the value of this. I wouldn't be ordinarily researching this match. Now we've got a handle in. We know the league positions. We know the strengths and weaknesses. Working our way down to the Europa League. I've done bits and bobs on this. My primary focus will be on teams that I know. Now, Bologna against Celtic. This is going to be reminiscent of Roma against Celtic, I think. Roma were actually outsiders and they won 3-0. Bologna need to discover that second goal this evening. If they can, they're in for a treat. They are at home. I think Scottish sides are eminently gettable in Europe. Sorry, this is a very touchy mouse. It's a very woke mouse, this one. Let me get back. So Bologna and Celtic, having a look at the Scottish sides, I think they are gettable. I've done a quick look through. This is what members will get each day. Have I completed them all? Well, let's have a look. Bologna and Celtic, 13th against 24th. Celtic are barely hanging on. Loss, win, loss, win, loss for them. They are 24th. Remember, the top 24 is where it's at. Bologna struggled for 2 goals in SerieA. but 2-0, 4-2 goals scored in this competition. So as they did against Hellas Verona, got back to their 2-goal scoring ways, we could be seeing that from Bologna today. Brann against Midtjylland, 22nd against 2nd. The onus is on Brann to get something here, but they've got no win in 3, failing to score in 2 of those matches. Midtjylland are having a great time in the Europa League, the Danes. Fenerbahce against Aston Villa. Both of these sides struggled at the weekend, but Fenerbahce got a 2-3 win, but Aston Villa lost. 12th against 3rd. No real panic for either of these two, unless Fenerbahce want to break into the top 8, which will give them a clear advantage in the next stages. They're unbeaten in 5, keeping sides from scoring that second goal. Remember, they were in the Champions League, and a special one was sacked. Villa are renowned for that second goal away, so watch out for that. Could see some real value at 2.63, and certainly if Fenerbahce are leading, they are layable. So don't forget, this is the research I normally keep for members only. So I thought I'd show it to you today. This is basic research for the Europa League. We need to look at the league standings, more importantly. Feyenoord and Sturm Graz, a bit like Karabag and Frankfurt, you'll be laying that very late draw, I think. 3 losses, play 3 out of 4 losses. So these two are in poor form in this competition. Freiburg against Maccabi Tel Aviv, 5th against 35th. Maccabi Tel Aviv are just gettable. They look well out of their depth. Freiburg at home in the Bundesliga are superb. Malmo against Red Star Belgrade, 34th against 17th. Trouble scoring, or scoring that second goal for Malmo. Could see them in trouble today. 3 consecutive wins for Red Star. PAOK Thessaloniki against Real Betis. I would have a subtle nod towards Real Betis here, but the market's wide open. 2 draws and 2 wins for PAOK. Scoring as well. 3 consecutive wins for Betis. So watch out for PAOK scoring this evening. Paulsen against Porto, 14th against 8th. Porto unbeaten in the Portuguese Primeira Liga. 3 consecutive 0-0s for Paulsen is something to factor in today. A bit like Sparta Prague against Barcelona. If Paulsen score first, are they really going to score a second consecutive goal if they had trouble even scoring? Young Boys against Lyon. Lyon having a brilliant time in the Europa League. 21st, though, Young Boys. They're a little bit too close to that 24 and lower exit point. Roma against Stuttgart. I like Roma. Identical form, though. 2 defeats and 3 consecutive wins. It's going to be tighter, this, than the odds suggest. So Stuttgart can put their best foot forward. Braga against Forest. I haven't looked at this one yet, but let's take a quick look. What I look at initially will be the league positions. Braga against Forest. So where are Braga? Braga are 7th. Nottingham Forest are 11th. So let's catch up with the others. 19th against 20th, I think. Two consecutive defeats against 3 defeats. It's a little too near the exit point for these two. Be looking at laying that very late draw. DZ against Steaua Bucharest is a must-win for both of these two teams. 25th against 27th. The winner could enter that crucial top 24 berth. The market is clear. Are we going to see that this evening? Ferencváros against Pana, 6th against 15th. Unbeaten in 5, plays unbeaten in 3. 2 sides coming into this in good form. So it's difficult to call, as the market agrees as well. 2.3 the favourite. Nice and Go Ahead Eagles. Well, be careful with Go Ahead Eagles. They are very competitive recently. Been a trader's friend, coming from behind to get constant equalisers and indeed getting a late winner, scoring 2 goals. So watch out for them this evening. They would be my dark horse, I think. Rangers against Ludogorets. Are Rangers as gettable as Celtic might be later on? 33rd against 23rd. A win is required for Rangers, who've been very impressive in the SPL. Salzburg against Basel, 31st against 26th. It's must-win territory. Utrecht against Genk. Trouble scoring that second goal for Utrecht. 2 wins in 3 for Genk. Utrecht must win. Saudi Arabia, we've got Al Hilal returning. That's the standout there. So I'll see members of FootballTradingProfits.com from the first kickoff this evening. Now we've got a fair indicator with Lingen and Burton, and we know who needs what in the Europa League. So if the in-play stats marry up as they did in the Champions League, we can pick off 1 or 2 of these plays as I did last night. Have a great day. I'll see members on Telegram from the first kickoff to the last. See you later.